Today we get another Samurai Class Guide and Review from Legend of the Five Rings RPG. This time we're headed to the core rulebook, and we're talking the Hiruma Scout School from Crab Clan. The Hiruma Scouts are the scouts of Crab Clan, trained to venture past the Great Caillou Wall and explore the Shadowlands, seeing what the evil armies of Fulang are up to. Because they are scouts behind enemy lines, they need to be fast and flexible, and their curriculum and school ability really holds true to that. Their school ability is borderline broken, to be honest, and many tables have house ruled it to limit its awesomeness, though I'm not quite sure that's wholly necessary, but it is quite amazing. So in the game, there are combat stances named after the 5 elemental rings, and they provide passive bonuses, as well as determine what techniques you can and can't use during your turn. Normally, you pick one stance to use at the beginning of your turn and deal with the effects for that until the start of your next turn. But Hiruma Scouts can switch stances after they perform their action. So, start with a stance that helps you during your turn, such as Water, Fire, or Void. Perform your action, then switch to the more defensive Air or Earth stances, which will help you until the start of your next turn. Just like most schools, this one places emphasis on 2 different rings, in this case Water and Air, and you'll notice that they conveniently are each from a different one of the 2 aforementioned groups. This makes a double threes with a 2 in Void such an easy answer that what should my ring build be almost feels like a trick question. Start every combat in Water stance, gain an extra action as long as it doesn't require a dice roll, use your second action to attack, and if you roll well enough, use Striking as Water that you chose at character creation. Yes, choose Striking as Water at character creation. That's an order. Make the enemy easier to damage for yourself and your team for a round, and finally switch to Air so that you gain the defensive bonus from that. In order to make the most of this, I'd pick the bow as well as that range technique during character creation. Use the extra action from Water stance to move about the battlefield more easily so you can snipe targets from the best position while maintaining a safe distance. Use Pelting Hail style to more easily deal with multiple weaker enemies, and Striking as Water to deal with the bigger, stronger, more resilient, kind of boss type enemies. Or if you roll really well, use both. Now you could also make the argument to take the melee route, in that the extra movement potential provided by the Water stance can make it easier to get in close to enemies to bop them. Also, if you're facing bigger enemies, you get a defensive bonus against them from your school ability, and there's a crab-only technique later on called Lord Hita's Grip, which helps you hold big enemies in their place while your friends wail on them. This combined with their rank 6 mastery ability can make Hiruma Scouts awesome monster slayers. However, if you have another burly crab at your table, especially say a Hita Defender, then you probably won't be the go-to Lord Hita's Gripper, and you can just focus on scooting and shooting. Also, they have a bit of an easier time focusing on range, so it might be best just to go with that. Another thing to keep in mind is that the Hiruma Scouts are the Crab Clan's de facto ninjas, unless we get another ninja school down the line. As of right now, you're the ninjas. So, they get access to all of the ninja techniques in this book. All 4 of them. But, like with nearly every school in the game, you can only purchase these techniques while they're in your current curriculum rank, as they're not a part of your normal repertoire. So, buy them when you can before you level yourself out of the only school rank you can buy them in.